briefing the Oversight Committee on its action plan to comply with the Public Protector's report on Bester's escape in 2022. That process has started. Let's listen in.
With the date stipulated, we have submitted our approved security operations policy, also our approved escape prevention strategy. It was submitted, also the guidelines on management of security incidences, your anti-corruption and fraud prevention, whistleblowing policy procedure, and our anti-corruption. We've complied with that, Chair. In terms of those, in terms of the due date, some documents were submitted on the 31st of December, others were due for 31 January, 28 January. We did comply and we approve. I must indicate, Chair, that as a department we have complied, and some of the action plan and the activities are ongoing because it's things that we must continue doing as a department in making sure that these policies are fully implemented. Would request the National Commissioner, as he introduces his team, and also allow the NC leading his administration to take the portfolio committee through this. But I must indicate that we have responded as a department. Thank you very much, Chair. NC, through you, Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. Thank you, Chairperson and honorable members, and good morning. I will start with the introduction of the team. Our team comprises of Dr. Musoma, who's behind me. She is responsible for the Office of the National Commissioner as an executive manager. And then we also have the Chief of Staff, Mr. Killian. He's also sitting behind me. He's responsible for the ministry. We have Director Kekana, who's responsible for legal services in the department. She's sitting over there. Next to her is Mr. Nkosi, who's the Acting Director Security, who's sitting, he's there. Behind them is Mr. Ngumalo, who is responsible for communications. And then we have Ms. Andronika Mabunda there. She's responsible for intergovernmental relations, basically the work that we do responding to the Portfolio Committee and Parliament. We have Advocate Mahlangu, who's a Director Contract Management. He's the one who is managing the PPP contracts of Mangaung and Kotamasin Tumule and other contracts in the department. Next to him is Ms. Ndladlana, who is responsible for the Department Investigation Unit in acting capacity as a director. And then we have Ms. Vuyo Dlaku, who's the PLO in the ministry. Lastly, we have Ms. Carol Stradom, who is responsible for the Office of the National Commissioner here in Cape Town. The presentation, as it is arranged, talk directly to the recommendations from the report of the Public Protector. We also submitted to the Secretariat of the Portfolio Committee the policies or internal control measures, documents that the Public Protector recommended that we should review. So the main presentation talks to the recommendations. We did submit the documents. We will request for guidance from the committee in terms of providing, a summary of the main policy instruments that we submitted to the portfolio committee. The colleagues are here that specializes in those fields. They'll be able to take the committee through. I'm going to request through Honorable Chairperson that we afford Director Kekana the opportunity to make the presentation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Chair, the committee, the DM, and the National Commissioner, together with all in the House. This presentation, we are focusing on the actions that the department has taken subsequent to receipt of the final Public Protector's reports, remedial actions. The first slide there, it speaks to the contents, which is the purpose, background, the action plan, brief overview, and the recommendation. As I've already said, we are talking about the actions that we took. The purpose is to brief the portfolio committee on the action plan in response to the public protector's report.
Mekakana, are you able to speak to the mic and
Yes.
with that shop steward voice when you speak for increment?
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Is that better? Closer. Thank you very much. Thank you. My apologies. As I say, the first slide is on the purpose, is to brief the portfolio committee on the action plan that the department took in response to the public protector's report on Thabo Bester's escape, and also brief you with regard to the strategies, policies, and procedures developed in response to the public protector's remedial action. The next slide speaks to the public protector's final report. In terms of 8.3.2 of the remedial actions, the National Commissioner was instructed within 90 days from the date of receipt of this report to develop an appropriate DCS escape prevention strategy and guidelines for MCC facility, indicating monitoring mechanisms, proper systems to be put in place, or steps directing how the functionaries of the DCS and contractors must effectively prevent and manage escape of inmates within MCC, including all other correctional facilities. Paragraph 8.3.3, the National Commissioner was instructed that within 120 calendar days from the date of receipt of this report to develop a documented guideline which communicates how anonymous anti-corruption reports from the centralized office of the Public Service Commission hotline and other sources will be attended to by the department. Under the leadership of the National Commissioner, DCS Action Plan in response to the Public Protector, a task team was established which comprised of security management, strategic planning management, contract management, legal services, DIU, and communications to look into the implementation of the remedial action. An action plan was developed and submitted to the Public Protector's Office as directed. I'll start with number 1. What we needed to do was to develop an escape prevention strategy and guidelines. We took steps to evaluate and worked on the policies and the strategies. We were given a due date of the 31st of December 2024 to comply, which we have accordingly done so. With regard to the remedial action number 2, we were to develop guidelines which communicate how anonymous anti-corruption reports from the centralized Office of Public Service Commission hotline are to be attended to. We have done the necessary evaluation and enhancement, and our deadline was the 31st of January 2025, which we have duly complied on the 28th of January 2025. The last slide is with regard to recommendations. We are saying that the Portfolio Committee take note of the action plan in response to the Public Protector's report on Thabo Bester's escape, and to note all strategies, policies, procedures developed in response to the Public Protector's remedial actions, which has been developed, approved, and submitted to the Public Protector as directed. Thank you very much.
Mekekan, are you still going to continue?
No, Chair, I'm not going to continue. My colleagues will continue with regard to giving just a brief overview of the policies. Thank you.
Okay, National Commissioner, who's taking us through? That
Thank
was
you.
very short and sweet, yeah?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson and honorable members. We have Mr. Nkosi, who will talk to the security part, and Ms. Ndladlana will then talk to other policies that have to do with the whistleblowing, anti-corruption, and anti-fraud.
Okay.
We have prepared just a summary that was an addendum to the main presentation. But they also have separate presentations of the policies. So we just wanted to make sure that we cover all the angles, depending on what the committee would be directing us to do.
The summaries are speaking to what the public protector would have requested. Yeah. If they're talking to that, then we're in line. Babu Nkosi.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Good morning to the Deputy Commissioner. Good morning, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. Good morning to the Portfolio Committee members. Good morning to the National Commissioner. Chairperson, we as security managed to develop the escape prevention strategy together with the escape prevention guidelines. The main purpose of the security being requested to do that is to standardize security operations within DCS and also the Triple Ps. With the current escape of Thabo Bester that the remedial actions originate from, you could see that the DCS policies were not in line with what the private prisons were doing, and then we managed to develop that. With that, we are aiming to implement and ensure that officials comply with the strategy together with the policy, and also to ensure that officials are implementing such, and also ensure that monitoring is done, and also ensure that officials that are found not implementing what the policies, the strategies are doing, consequence management is applied to such. Our country, Chairperson, is fighting crime in all angles, and then we as DCS, we have to ensure that as the end result of applying the law is applied to the latter, and then the strategy must be implemented together with the policy, together with the code, the SOPs, and to ensure that all officials do comply with such. We are therefore going to make sure that the controller at the private prisons do indicate the receipt of the policy and sign that thereof, and the monitoring of the policy. We are going to make sure that the job description of the controller indicate the implementation of the policy.
Babu Nkosi, before you can proceed, we thought you are going to flag so that it becomes an ease of reference to members. So since there's nothing that is flagged, kindly do tell us on which one. Yes, members have the annexures that were sent by the committee secretary, so that at least they are able to go through them, so that once you are taking us through, they can make reference to the documents that they've received. Which one are you taking us through?
Okay, thank you so much, Chairperson. Currently, I'm taking the committee on the escape prevention strategy. And then we are saying that in terms of outcome 3 of the National Development Plan, that clearly indicates that all people in South Africa are safe and must feel safe. And then in response to outcome 3, the DCS and the public, the triple Ps are mandated to provide for safe and secure condition of detention and escape in the department, and also from the triple Ps are a challenge. Coupled to this is that inmates are finding innovative ways to escape, and their ways of escaping varies now and then. And then it is very important, committee members, to note that key to this escape are the negligence that our officials are doing in terms of non-compliance to SOPs and strategies. And then with this strategy, we are saying that we need to establish an intelligence-driven correctional services and simulating reaction to escape incidents in the form of emergency drills is imperative to assist the department to fight all non-compliances and security breaches. The situation calls for the enforcement of the implementation of policies and procedures which include enhancement of the security measures, investigations. We are saying they must be completed timeously and swift consequences must apply. The correction system intends to ensure that where possible, proactive and urgent security measures are implemented in line with the security philosophy and the posture that demonstrates the department and the triple P's approach towards safe and secure detention.
Excuse me, sir. The presenter has indicated which document he's presenting from, but we're trying to follow, but we are not on the same par with him. I don't know if I'm the only one who can't find exactly where he is. Where are you presenting which slide so that we are in par with you as you present?
Okay, thank you so much, committee member. I was in slide page 8 to page 9, where we talk of the purpose.
Are we still struggling to flag it? You're on the escape prevention strategy, no?
Yes, Chairperson.
And you're saying page 8.
Yes, I'm saying page 8, where we are talking of the purpose of the strategy. Slide number 8.
Our apologies, Chair. If I may, what he has done of the escape prevention strategy that we submitted as annexures, he has summarized the entire policy to talk to it. I think that is the reason why members are not following with what he's saying. So we must try and talk to the pages as submitted as annexures to the honorable members so that they can follow where we are moving.
Are we still unable to flag it? Mama Andronica?
We are able to flag it, Chair. We were under the impression that he's presenting the main document, the one that members
Are having.
But he was talking to a presentation, having done a summary of the main document.
Oh.
Yeah, it would have still been easy for him to talk to the main document in a summarizing form because members were going to follow because they have the document.
Yes.
And it's the numbers, the pages are numbered.
But let's priority number 1 before I come to you, members. Let's flag it here so that it becomes easy to follow. Members, Honourable Carl?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's probably too late now, but what would really have been very helpful is if we had a PowerPoint presentation which then flagged for us these voluminous documents, because for us to now wade through these documents when a presentation is made like that is a very difficult process. You can see that even the members of the Department of Correctional Services are battling to do so. So I think, just as a recommendation, we really need to get, when the presentation like this is done, a PowerPoint which then shows us exactly we are referring on this issue to that page, to that page, to that page. Then we can find our way through these documents. These are long documents, and for us to wade through it now while you're speaking is a distraction, and unfortunately doesn't allow us to follow the presentation as well as it should be. Thank you, Chair.
Mrs. Ngaba?
All right, so there you have it. We are meant to be listening to a presentation by the Department of Correctional Services there, appearing before the Portfolio Committee. But what's happening now is really talks about the presentation as opposed to the presentation itself. It seems members of Parliament are struggling to follow what the department is supposed to be telling them about ways in which they'll be implementing the remedial action from the Public Protector's report on Thabo Bester's brazen escape in 2022. What we've heard so far is just a rehashing of the Public Protector's directives, including that the department must come up with an appropriate escape prevention guideline within 90 days of those remedial action, and also guideline on anonymous reports that will be attended to by the department itself. So hopefully they'll be able to get to the bottom of how they're going to follow this presentation, so we can get to the substance really of what the department is hoping to share with MPs. Let's continue listening in.
Thanks, Chairperson. Apologies once more to the committee members. I was presenting the escape prevention strategy. Safe to say that with this strategy, Chairperson, we are aiming to ensure that the system of corrections is providing ways to cap escapes, and in so doing, focus must also be placed on information gathering. And information gathering is imperative for management to be proactive in mitigating the risk for further escapes. And then further to this, we need to focus also on improving capacity and to the development of the capabilities of officials entrusted to uphold safety and security in the DCS and the Triple Ps. The situation calls for enforcement of the implementation of policies and procedures. The correction system intends to ensure that, where possible, proactive and urgent security measures are implemented in line with the security philosophy and the posture that demonstrate the department and the Triple Ps. Additionally to this, we are intending to mitigate and prepare for any further potential risk by providing guidance and support to managers and officials with regard to the execution of their duties. Here, committee members, are strategy principles where we are saying we, as the department, will have to establish and secure correctional centers, including the Triple Ps, for the incarceration of high-risk awaiting trial detainees, high-risk offenders, and high-risk detainees. Establishment of communication links within the criminal justice system that will assist in terms of intelligence, information gathering, and in terms of effective profiling of offenders. Then establishment of a shared linked crime information system with all relevant stakeholders, ensure secure detention of high-risk awaiting trial detainees, offenders, and high-risk detainees at Triple Ps. And other principle is to ensure that security during admission of offenders and awaiting trial detainees and high-risk detainees at Triple Ps. Here, this is the profiling that we are referring to in terms of how are we going to make sure that all offenders detained in correctional, in DCS and also the Triple Ps are effectively profiled. Maintain effective and secure access control to correctional centers and the Triple Ps in terms of the access to public premises and Vehicle Act. Then ensure security and effective control over offenders in units during the day and night, whereby we are going to make sure that there is effective management and control over offenders that are in the courtyard. They do their rehabilitations, processes, rehabilitation sessions effectively so. And the Next one is to ensure effective control over offenders awaiting trial, detainees, and high-risk offender detainees at PPPs during escort, where we are taking them to court, where we are taking them to other centers, transfers, courtyard, and also span duty, where we are saying that we need to ensure that effective officials are provided to ensure effective guarding during escort. Then ensure the effective operation of security fences around correctional facilities, including PPPs. These committee members, we are saying that it must be in line with the implementation of the integrated security system in the Department of Correctional Services. Then effective guarding of offenders in work teams, and also ensure effective security measures are in place at the visitation area for offenders and also at the PPPs. Then ensure effective control over and utilization of the department firearms and firearms at the PPPs. All security posts must be issued with an updated duty sheet together at the PPPs. The development and revisit emergency plan to deal with escapes, attempted escapes, including the PPPs. Here we are saying that the plans that we have developed as the department, the policy, the strategies, the SOPs, we as security, we must make sure that that is complied with by all officials within the two facilities. Prevention of violent escapes, including high-risk detainees from PPPs from public hospital. This is one of the area where most of offenders are escaping from lawful custody. And then we are going to make sure that effective security measures are put in place to ensure that offenders are not escaping from public hospitals. Then ensure the timeless finalization of investigations and disciplinary processes with regard to escape, also at the PPPs. Here we are saying the reporting of security gaps or security breaches as stipulated in the MIS document must be followed, and effective investigations and consequence management must apply on time. Then the development and implementation of the service delivery model through the following prioritization and conducting security threat and risk assessment is very important for the department to know and check where it stands in terms of security measures. Regular security awareness sessions that we as security practitioners, we need to conduct awareness sessions to all officials of the department. Then compliance with the SOPs, monitoring of security strategy. Then the last one will be the development and implementation of resource strategy, where we are going to ensure that monitoring and security inspections are conducted to the facilities in DCS and also to the private prisons. Then we implement the threat and risk assessment reports with findings and recommendations to ensure that such gaps are not repeated again. Improve technical training, introduce intelligence-driven correctional system, then research analysis capacity to support security operations. Then this is a strategy implementation and monitoring that we have touched, Chairperson. The strategy review, then it will be reviewed every 5 years or when need arises. Then the legal implication, we are saying this strategy shall be the legal binding document aimed at assisting the DCS in effective implementation and compliance with security prescript. Then the strategy was approved by the National Commissioner on the 24th of December, 2024. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, committee members.